always like to have people who are interested in the welfare of animals since we've been doing that for many, many years. We have asked Sheriff Langford to come and talk to you and explain why he and Ms. Pittman think that the police should take over animal control. We don't feel that's the best interest of the animals, but I'd like to hear what he has to say. If you want to speak to us,
Thank you. For the ones of y'all that don't know me, I'm Sheriff Gary Langford, Sheriff of Murray County here. Commissioner Pittman had came to me and asked me to take over the animal control shelter after the first year when I took office. I, at that time, told her that I wasn't interested, that I had enough to do trying to run my department as it was. As it went on into the year here, she kept on wanting us to take it over. She felt that we had checked with several of the other local sheriffs in the state, and a lot of them took over and run the animal shelters. When I got to checking into it and she still wanted us to take it over, we checked and decided that we would take it. When she offered it to us, we checked and talked to different sheriff's offices, the way they handled it. We felt that the problems that was going on, the employees that work at the animal shelter now are not certified deputies, certified officers. A lot of the calls out into the county, like cruelty to animals or some that you would have maybe dog fighting, they cannot prosecute this. A certified deputy can. They can put it in superior court. Several weeks ago, there was a case that made it to superior court that one of the animal control officers had issued, and the superior court judge kicked it out of court because it was illegal for them to bring it to superior court because they were not a certified officer. So she had got with me. We worked out a deal as far as how we was going to do this. She wanted all the employees other than the secretary to be certified law enforcement officers. That's what we're going to do. The director will be certified. The one that works on the road will be the certified deputy, and then the lady or man, whoever works inside, that will be the secretary, will not be. They will handle the day-to-day basis as far as paperwork. One of the other benefits is I will use some of my county inmates to help clean the facility up. We can save money on that part. We will still probably implement a part-time employee, so that will still give us 3 employees full-time and maybe 1 part-time. The employees that are over there now, we offered them to come to work into the sheriff's department, sheriff's office, and have a chance of getting certified. If they wanted to work their way back to the animal shelter, then they could. If we tried to wait and get them certified, it would be several months, maybe even up to 6 months before we could get them certified and get them into school. So we opened it up for employment, people to put in for it. We chose out of 5 applications. I hired Diane Franklin. She works at the Whitfield County Animal Shelter. I've been with them about 23 years.
And what is their euthanasia rate there in Whitfield County?
I have no idea.
You hired someone and you have no idea of what the euthanasia rate is?
have you seen their facilities?
Have you ever toured the facility?
No.
So we're going to take a working program that's working, we know it's successful, and replace it with an unknown.
Where the kill rate is at least 3 times higher.
Well, we get the kill rate
92%.
But this is animal control.
We have an internationally famous dog shelter here that is known worldwide.
Right. And we're not going to allow...
It is the most famous part of Murray County worldwide.
I'm just telling you
It's the
how
most
we're
famous
going
part.
about this.
It's the most famous part of
If you'll just give me a moment to let me answer my question.
Okay.
I'll be glad to let you talk to Diane, who's here. Okay? If y'all will just...
Well, you're the one that made the decision. You said you studied it. You've been in office for 4 months. How did you make the decision?
How many other sheriff's office did you contact?
On their training.
On their training?
Yes.
Okay. Not on their history or track record? She is not certified yet. Is that correct? Is that right?
Certified in what?
As a sheriff's officer or whatever, she will have to be
Yes, she is a certified officer.
So you just hired her based on her application? So the euthanasia rate wasn't even looked at as part of the application process?
And I'm sorry, you are?
Gary, she was not the director of Whitfield County.
No.
She was not the director of Whitfield County.
No, I didn't say that.
I know you didn't, but I'm letting these folks know
Right.
that Diane
She's
was
not the
not the
director.
director. She
Right,
was not
that's
in
correct.
charge.
I was a veterinarian in Whitfield County for 30 years. I know it's on the dog pound.
And your name?
Dr. William H. Mack.
And you do certification
No.
for
No,
transport
I
and
did.
rescue?
No. I live in Whitfield County. I was.
We still have a home there.
And I have people come in, clients come in and discuss the Whitfield County dog pound regularly when I was there, and the personnel in Whitfield County dog
So
pound.
do you do certification at Whitfield County or Murray County to certify dogs to go out of state?
We do rescue.
Or paperwork,
I do
stuff like that?
the paperwork at Murray County and I do, and I spend every Friday at the plant. Not the last 6 years.
If y'all will just hang on, we'll let you have questions in a minute.
Okay, go ahead.
That is why, like I said, we chose from the applicants we had. We're still going to choose another road deputy to be hired, and that way we'll have 2 full-time certified officers that can, when we're out here and we get cases like animal abuse or dogs that's being fought, we can charge them. Now they can't, they don't have arrest power with that. But that's one of the reasons we've done that. In just a moment, I'll let Diane explain to you what she's going to do, and then this is also now Tommy Parker with the Commissioner's Office, and he can explain to you also why we've decided to take it over.
Give you a little background. This started back in November. We had a new commissioner take office, or was elected then. I think took office in January. New sheriff, and during her campaign throughout the county, she heard a number of complaints about the way things are done at animal control. As the sheriff alluded to, they have limitations due to their authority. So he agreed to take that at her request, but the stipulation was that he have peace officers working there, and we put civilian employees into situations that are very difficult for them at times. It's not fair to them because they lack the training that a peace officer has. In addition to the mandated training, there's the field officer training. When they come back from school, they spend several weeks or months doing that, and they have continuous, ongoing training in their particular area of work, whether it's the jail or traffic or whatever they are involved in. So that was his request that we changed to, and he'd be allowed to hire certified officers. We honored that request.
And what request was that again?
I can tell you that for my involvement, and I've been involved in most of the discussions, that's the only change that has been discussed, is changing from civilian to sworn personnel. Now, we're shocked at the rumors that are out there. But
It's not rumors.
That's the only change. Now, also, when the sheriff gets through, before we open this up, we've got to have some rules so that everybody here who wants to be heard can be heard. First of all, I'd like to know your name, but we're going to try to keep some records. I'd like to know where you're from, not a specific address, but if you're from this county or some other county or state, we'd like to know that. If you have comments that are intended to embarrass someone or personally attack someone, please keep those to yourself. If you have specific questions about personnel decisions that we wouldn't normally discuss, we won't answer or entertain those questions. That's not because we're here today for this particular subject. That's just our policy. So, whoever else the sheriff wants to introduce, then we'll get to your questions. Thank you.
What is your background in animal control and animal rescue?
Mine?
Yeah.
I have no background. This will be person from me to take over. I will be, you know, the sheriff over it. I will have the director running it, and if there is anything problems, they will come to me. I will not have nothing to do with it. They will just run it, and then they will come to me.
One more question. Sorry. The other shelters that you looked at that this program seems to work, what shelters were those?
We checked with Whitfield.
Oh, just one. Just one.
Wow.
You said you had checked with multiple.
I didn't. It was checked.
Actually, it's on the videotape that you said you checked with multiple.
They checked. You'll come on up, I'll let you talk to them.
In conversation with Mr. Bass, in Whitfield County, Whitfield County has licensed officers on the street who do the law enforcement, but the county commission retains control of the shelter and manages it. The sheriff's department does not manage this. The county commission still.
Oh, that's
And so we could, if we could sit down and talk rather than, we could have something where we had a shelter that had a function that could maintain its national reputation, and we could have the best of law enforcement going out in the street and having mandated officers. Because we have excellent shelters. And I don't think anybody in the county questions that. But we are not against your officers going out, breaking up dog fight rings, writing tickets, and improving things. But improvement we want. Destruction of excellence we don't want. Okay.
Thank you.
And like I said, and I offered the other day, and you wouldn't admit, to sit down with you and serve in a professional capacity, free of charge, to sit down and let's work up a format that would make the citizens here happy, and also improve the situation of having officers in the field that have the power. We're not against that. We just don't want to destroy what we have an international excellence in. Okay? And I will
Thank you.
Down, and I will personally, whoever else you want to do, and I would like to cooperate with you. I'd like to be your friend. I'd like to be a positive influence in Murray County. I've been working over here for 7 years. I do not work in Whitfield. I come over here because of the excellence you have. When I retired from veterinary medicine for 30 years, I asked for the Murray County animal rescue portion to be excluded from my contract so I could come over here and practice. And I come over here and practice because I save more dollars writing papers, examining dogs, than I did in my practice in weeks. I still have purpose. And there's a lot of dogs come out of this shelter that wouldn't come out of any other shelter.
Right.
And like I said, and I'm not against the improvement that Sheriff Langford, I'm behind him. And like I said, and I wouldn't mind being a part. And like I said, normally someone by position charges a lot per hour to do it, but I would volunteer to work with them to establish something that is quality, that is improved, something that makes the county of Murray happy, that would work better for me, and it'd be better for your image, and it would be better for all of us. And like I said, you and I had a discussion the other day. I enjoyed it. I thought we had a debate that I think you enjoyed, I enjoyed. You know, I don't think we saw head to head, but like I said, in government, I don't think you're supposed to be head to head, but government can make progress, make peace, and work together, not butt heads. And I don't want to butt heads.
I understand, but you're going to have to talk to Commissioner Hill. She wants us to take it over as of May 1st. Right. If she's willing to talk to y'all on this more, I have no problem with that.
I've been to Brittany's office and talked to her before I talked to you about it. Okay?
I thought Brittany put you over it.
I will be May the 1st, that's what I'm saying. If y'all want to talk to her and she wants to postpone this, talk.
Brittany said that
That's-
she was unaware of even the rescue work that was being done there last Friday, 8 days ago. She was unaware of all this rescue work that was being done.
Do you know why this rescue work had to
So
be,
that's what we feel it's
was
important.
done, why we didn't publicize it? Because Pauline didn't want to publicize it, and because if we publicize it, we would be overflowed. Because rather than Myrtle saying, I'm going to work to get my dog at home, she just take it to Pauline.
Right.
So this work had to be done in secret. It's known nationwide, but less of it's known in Murray County than anywhere. And it has to be that way to be effective. And I charge very little for my services when I come over. And like I said, I feel like I'm doing a positive for your community. I do not live in Murray County. I drive an hour to get here, okay? I do not do the same service to Cookeville County. I do not do the same service to Catoosa County because I come over here because with the way the shelter is clean, the disease rate, the condition of animals, I can ship dogs out here and not have my professional reputation endangered. And it really is it is an excellent facility. I bought and basically, for y'all know, I bought approximately $15,000 worth of veterinary grade stainless steel cages, and I put in the shelter over here in Murray County on loan. And it was stipulated in that loan that if Pauline was removed from director, that I could pull these cages out. This week, I took my cages out because I did not believe in what was happening in this county at this point. Because I believe in Sheriff Langford. I believe he has the ability to put officers in the field. I believe his reputation as a law officer is outstanding. You know, everybody I talked to spoke very highly of you and said you're a good man, you're wonderful, and I'm here to represent the stray dogs of Murray County, the stray animals who could be got home, and the adoption.
I'm sorry, we're going to have to limit your time because there are other people I'm sure here
One more point I'll step down, okay? The funds that are being raised for these animals is no cost to Murray County. It's all done by fundraising by Pauline's organization, and they are probably hundreds. I would say at least $100,000 been raised probably over the last 5 years because I see the dogs and I see the bills. And like I said, we have something excellent here, and like I said, we could even be more excellent if we work together rather than apart. Okay.
Thank you.
My name is Kim Wilson, and I am a Murray County resident. My only question is because, like he said, there were a million rumors that went around. I used Puppy Promise with a stray dog that I received, and all the puppies were adopted out to Connecticut. The rumors going around is you will not let any out-of-state adoptions, and that it's going to become a kill shelter. All of those puppies were adopted by a vet and 3 people in her office. Completely great. I get updates. I want to know, is that program still going forward? Are you going to make it a kill shelter, or will this still be happening?
Are you familiar with Puppy Promise program?
I'm not. Diane is, and she can probably explain to you more. No, we're not going to make it a kill shelter.
I want you to confirm and deny the rumors.
The rumors that's been out on the computer is false.
Out-of-state adoptions are still going to be allowed?
I have talked to a lady from South Georgia. If they are legal to adopt and has license and all this, we're still going to be doing this. That's no problem.
Are you going to require license here in Georgia or in their own state? That's the reason for that is that's key.
Yeah, whatever the regulations are.
So you're making it
Question because
more restrictive.
if you've got out-of-state rescue and they have to register in every state and pay that registration fee, they won't do it, they'll go to the path of least resistance, and the dogs will die.
Clerk, we can't override the Georgia Department of Agriculture rules and regulations. We have to ride
What are those regulations?
Those regulations say that a rescuer from out of state has to be licensed as an out-of-state rescuer with the Georgia Department of Agriculture.
And who's the county vet? Who's the county vet that goes that?
Agricultural license has been illegal since it's expired.
Do you have a county vet that should have overseen it?
Yeah, no, I understand. Excuse me one moment. This is Diane Franklin. She has taken on the position of director at Murray County Animal Shelter. And that's as of
May 1st.
May 1st.
Let me introduce myself and tell you my background.
And your kill rate.
We'll get to that.
Your rescue rate.
Please let her talk.
I'm not going to cooperate with people yelling at me. I trained under Dr. Mathis. I have a good rapport with Dr. Mathis. I was a vet tech for him for 2 years. I received the job at the Whitfield County Animal Shelter in 1990. I've worked there for 23 years. We didn't have a humane society. We had a zero rescue rate. It was basically a 100% kill shelter. I follow the policies and procedures of the Whitfield County Board of Commissioners. They set how animals leave. We also follow to the T the Georgia Department of Agriculture's rules and regulations because we have to be licensed and we have to keep those licenses up to date. There are only certain procedures that rescuers can get. You have to have a license. I have to have a license. If a rescuer has a Georgia Department of Agriculture license, I can transfer that dog right to that rescuer. No questions asked. It takes one stroke of the pen. I believe in rescuing. I love rescuing animals. I think there's a strong, wait just a minute, there's a strong part of animal control. Some of that's rescuing. But let me tell you why I took this job. When I sat down with the administration, they asked me, which I have never been asked before, how can we address animal overpopulation? My answer was, I know that we cannot euthanize enough to stop animal overpopulation. And I know that we can't rescue enough to stop animal overpopulation. We have to use all the tools in our box. One of those is rescue. A big part of that's rescue. I look forward to volunteers. I look forward to rescuing. I'm sorry that there were rumors put out there that were false. When you're dealing with the whole aspect of animal control, you're dealing with every nuisance dog in the county. The majority of those will be adoptable. And I will be looking for rescues to take if you have that license, in-state or out-of-state. I've already spoke with a woman in Texas who wants to bring a mobile spay unit to our county. Hallelujah. How can we address animal overpopulation? If we can stop them coming in the front door, we don't have to worry about them going out the back door.
Could I please speak before she is?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm a cat there in Murray County. I know y'all are from Whitfield. I'm a cat player. No, I'm sorry. And it's yours. I'm sure the village used to live there. You're no more intelligent than we are here. We are compassionate people. We pay our taxes. We love animals. I have 3 dogs that people shunned off. And I got that nobody wanted them. So yes, I have 3 of those dogs. One of my neighbors who did not abide by the rules let one of her dogs get into my dog fence and impregnated my pyrenees before I could get her picked. She had 40 dogs, 10 in her house and 20 in her yard and 10 in her winter's place. So then, I want you to know, we are intelligent, we are compassionate, and we are not stupid. We know what life is in humans and dogs. My husband drives over the road. He's tired. He comes in. He can't sleep for dogs barking next door because people who rent to them have 10 dogs and
5 dogs, and they have 5 dogs. About 14 months ago, the doctor put him on a week out of work rest time before they let him go back on the road and drive. In February of this year, he was in the hospital stressed out because my neighbors got up a petition because I had complained about their dog. He was so horrified by what he read in that petition they said about me. He was afraid, as big as he is, that they might harm me while he was out on the road. Now, most of those things have been proven live, and I've got 5 witnesses that will go to court with me again against that. But those are 3 of the best dogs. I took them this morning down to Todd, and I had them vaccinated again, all 3. And when my dog got pregnant, I used puppy promises. I believe in this woman. I believe she's compassionate. I don't understand why you can't come over here to save us before now. But let me tell you this. The animal shelter, they have good people there. They work 4.5 days. They still on the price. But they work 4.5 days. The dogs that are stray, especially when the economy went south and starting in 2007, people even from your county are certainly dropping off dogs over here in the river, Conasauga River. Now, this just really makes me question why y'all just now come to save us from ourselves. Because I'm going to tell you, we're compassionate. We know how to save dogs' lives, and this machine or this bus or whatever it is she can get in here, you might want to get one in Whitfield. But my husband, the doctor said, and they gave him a heart test because he was so stressed out. And when I talked with him, he said, I wish I had your husband's heart. He's got the heart and arteries of a 35-year-old man that have to put in a stent. He said he's under stress from fear of dogs. Thank you.
Let's not make this about the river that divides us, okay? We talked about our plan. We've introduced the new director. If you have questions about our plans for moving forward, please direct those questions one at a time, because I don't want anybody to interrupt you when you talk. Please.
I would like to say this
Who are you directing your question to, please?
I guess to you.
Yes, ma'am.
And I don't believe it's the Whitfield, Murray County argument here that people coming together, you know, to help the animals. And I lived in Murray County for almost 10 years. I recently moved to Whitfield, but I volunteer with the Murray County Humane Society.
And your name is?
And it's Laurel Kirkbride. I spoke to you the other day. And my question is, will the shelter still allow individuals to come in and adopt out animals? Because I know currently Whitfield County does not allow that. And the Humane Society over there, and you mentioned one other gentleman, are the only ones that can come in and pull animals that are deemed adoptable. And what you might not see as adoptable, all these other people might. So will the public still be allowed to come and adopt from the shelter?
Yes.
Okay.
And caveats to that? Excuse me? Caveats to that? As long as they fill out the adoption papers, I don't even want to charge any money to adopt.
But
I want them to go directly and have it spayed and neutered.
But you told me on the phone the other day in our conversation that you were wanting these animals to go to their forever home.
Right.
And the reason you only let the Humane Society and this other gentleman pull is because you didn't want just anybody coming off the street. So how is that going to differ from Whitfield County?
Statistics show that sporadic adoptions might not be best for the animal. I want to make sure that animal's not transferred.
Right.
I will not close down the shelter to personal adoptions. I would like to speak with them, find out why we're adopting, spend a little time with them. If I can, I'm running on a short staff. I personally would like to have a volunteer adoption person there. If somebody wants to volunteer to help me with that, I'm game. The reason we did that in Whitfield was because the Humane Society had more leeway in screening. Government agencies don't have a lot of leeway in screening when you're taking money for an animal. I can't refuse. What I'm saying is a government agency can't refuse. When I know that person may not really be the best fit for that animal. You see?
Yeah.
That way I used the Humane Society. I allowed them to fill out their adoption papers. I allowed them to do a home check and a vet check. They had a whole lot. If somebody comes through and sees an animal that I've been watching and I've been interested in, or I knew that animal out in the field and I knew it got picked up and I really want to claim that animal and adopt that animal, no charge. We ask that you get it spayed and neutered in our mobile vet and vaccinated, and we believe that you've studied this decision.
Thank you.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Yes, I was just wanting to know, today's like the 27th, and I heard Mr. Langford there say to this gentleman that he would like to talk to Brittany Pittman. Right now, it seems like no matter what anybody here's saying, nothing's going to get done. It's already finished, done, slammed down.
As far as I'm concerned, May 1st, I'll be the new director of animal
So
control.
and nobody, no care what no matter what says it here. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Ma'am, I didn't have anything to do with the prior administration. I know that we're going to take this animal shelter forward, and we've got some forward thinkers, and we're going to try to set the bar high. In the back?
Yeah, woman in the back.
I'm George Scanlon. I live in Murray County. I have all of my life. Y'all seem to be talking about adoption and that. I'm concerned about the strays.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's what I am
Yes,
interested
ma'am.
in because I keep my dog up and other
Yes,
dogs
ma'am.
come in my yard too and all that.
Yes, ma'am. Murray County has laws. I've read the ordinance.
And the other people that was in here, I'm from the sheriff taking over. The other people that was in here, last night, coming like this gentleman over here, I felt stressed out from my high blood pressure, my diabetes, because the dogs next door kept me awake all night long for 4 nights. These people would not do that.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I had to go to court. So I'm wanting the sheriff to take over.
I look forward to working with you.
My neighbor now has got dogs on
You
his house.
call us, give us time. This isn't going to be a quick process, but I look forward to coming out in the field and working with you.
Okay, good.
Thank you, Scout.
Thank you.
Yes,
Hey,
ma'am.
Diane, I'm Karen Coulter. I worked with you a few years ago. My question is, how is this going to come together? You don't have, I mean, everybody's gone. It's like, a line. Yesterday it was done this way. Tomorrow,
Let me give you my background. I was giving you my
Well,
background.
no, I know,
No.
but I'm just, you don't have any help. I mean,
We do. We do. Oh, we have a plan.
We're still
well, 88% euthanasia is not necessarily a plan.
Where did you get that?
The statistics for Whitfield.
Why just
quoted 100%, and then you're talking about adoptions.
Wait, just a minute. Why'd you put an 88% euthanasia rate on me? Have you asked me? Have we sat down and spoke about this?
Well, why don't you tell us?
The numbers from Whitfield.
This is not Whitfield County. I have a new administration. I have an administration that wants to use the tools and develop new tools to help the animal overpopulation problem.
Which is what tools? The Humane Society? My name's Paula Johnson. I've worked with the Humane Society.
Great. I look forward to
I would use our Facebook page to get as many adoptions as we can for the animals that are in our care. And it takes every ounce of time that I have, that our members have, just to handle the amount of emails that we get.
Okay.
So what you're saying is you want to take your program and all of the paid employees that have now been dismissed and turn all of that over to a volunteer organization that's already tapped out financially and by every single volunteer that we possibly have, and you want us to take over the job of the animal shelter for adopting out.
He didn't really say the Humane Society to take over.
But you said that one of the only organizations that can pull would be the Humane Society.
unlicensed rescue.
And you want for us to, you said that we have more license to do the adoption checks, that we have more license to deny, so that you want to sit down with every person who walks through the door.
I don't have that much time.
Well, neither do we. Or the fund.
What I've got to tell you first is I have to be responsible to the citizens of Murray County. I have to
I'm a
provide,
citizen of Murray
and I want to be responsible to you. I have to provide animal control in all aspects. I have to address the stray nuisance problem. I have to address those animals that come in through owner give-ups, because they just decide to turn them in and say, you do something with it. My plate's full. Your plate's full.
What might be the new plan then for addressing the overpopulation? Because that is one of the key things
All right,
with addressing this. And one mobile stay, which we've tried unsuccessfully to have a mobile stay. There's one available in
Well,
Atlanta.
ask her.
They come here.
I don't know about the previous administration, what they've been doing. If they've been going out and enforcing the animal at large laws, the vaccination laws, the cruelty and nuisance laws, I don't know if they have been doing that. In Whitfield County, now that's what I'm trying to build on. We use a lot out in the field of tools as trying to find that animal's owner, spending more time out in the field trying to find that animal's owner. If I can find that animal's owner, I can do two things. I can educate them, or if they just absolutely refuse, I can cite them and send them to court. That's a process. It's in the works. We've spoken with the county administrator, and she loved the idea to possibly bring up a breeder's law that says if you have an animal, and this is what Gary's doing, if you have an intact animal in Murray County, you're going to have to be registered as a breeder. That's what we're thinking. We're going to try to make the people using the service pay for the service. We cannot rescue ourselves out of this problem.
You got to go by law.
We have to go by law.
And what was your kill rate in Whitfield County?
Whitfield County's kill rate was running about 92%, and that is down from 100. But let me tell you what. I followed policies and procedures for Whitfield County, just like I will follow policies and procedures for Murray County. The commissioners in Whitfield County did not choose to be proactive measures. I've come in here and the county administrator and the county sheriff has said we want to be proactive. We want to address the animal overpopulation law. I believe that will start with a breeder's law. We've got to start somewhere. We're no different from up north. If they can do it up north, Murray County, Georgia can do it. Is that?
A 92% kill rate does answer my question. Yes, thank you.
How many animals did you pull from Whitfield last year?
I don't live in Whitfield.
Well, I mean, then give me a break.
And you don't allow private adoptions in Whitfield. I'm sorry. I think you already answered that.
This is not Whitfield County, okay? In an ideal world, every dog, every cat, every bird, every lizard would have a home. This is not an ideal world. You irresponsible people who don't take care of their animals, who don't spay and neuter, there's too many. Can we cut it down to zero? No, we can't. Because of those same irresponsible people. We can do the best that we can.
I am. I want us to be, I think over time. How?
In our lifetime?
I think over time that when we instigate the laws, the breeder's laws, and we get a hold of our problem, when we start to make it,
If your dog is bred,
no,
you don't know
if you're found with an intact animal on your property, if I go to your property and you have a female puppy, you're either going to be registered as a breeder, or the fine will be to have them spayed or neutered.
But you can't just go to the house and say,
If I have if it's picked up and it's intact, I can surely address that problem then.
Right, okay. Have on full, do that right there.
We
Every person that is not licensed breeder needs to be.
stop reacting, start being proactive.
What was Emily Felker? Because
Just a minute, that wasn't Emily Felker. I talked to a lady from Texas who has a million.
Because I am from Murray County, we had a tax one. But before, I know you're taking full responsibility on May 1st, but did you in any way train with them prior to this to know how we run it, or you're just coming in, cut and dry, and going from there?
My credentials
I know what you're
got my job.
But did you do any training with the people that work to see how it works? That maybe some of yours and some of ours who told me.
All right, I'm a nationally certified animal control officer. I'm a nationally certified animal cruelty investigator. I'm mandated through the Georgia Peace Officers Association. I'm certified in euthanasia. Do I know 100% right and wrong as far as animal control goes? No, but I've been in it long enough to know that we're going to have to use the tools.
But what you're not answering my question. What I said is you had rules over there, and you've got rules that you're bringing with you. But would it not have been better for both parties for you to work with them to see, you got all the certifications, but that does not mean you do not make errors. So could you not have...
That wasn't up to me, ma'am. That wasn't up to me.
Be more open to more knowledge.
That wasn't up to me.
I may have a little knowledge that you wouldn't have yet. Those 4 people are still here in the county. Those 4 people are not moving away unless they choose to. They're not leaving our employment. Let me finish. They're not leaving our employment unless they choose to. So, whether they work at the sheriff's office, or the jail, or 911, or the senior center, or wherever they end up, they'll still be a resource that Ms. Franklin can call.
This man right here is holding out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My name's Jeff Howard. I'm with Angels Among Us Pet Rescue. And I'm from Kennesaw, but Angels Among Us is all over. We're the largest volunteer-based pet rescue in the Southeast. And we pull many, many, many dogs from Murray County. In fact, right now, in our own home, we have 5 of your dogs that we put through surgeries, we're rehabbing, and we're putting out for adoption.
Thank you.
So we're very intimate with what you're doing at the shelter, and we do appreciate the proactive approach that you're contemplating in terms of shutting down these breeders, because that is a major source. Spay-neuter is obviously another thing that we need to focus on. But I did want to go over some of the published facts that have come out in the newspaper and kind of go over that a little bit, just to kind of get that on record, if you don't mind. Not rumors, not attacks, but just the published facts that we have here. And we just kind of want to understand, through this transition period, how we're going to be able to maintain some of these metrics. And so the first thing is, I kind of summarized several quotes that Ms. Pittman said in some of the newspapers. She said, the amount of money spent on animal control will not change. So this must not be about money. The mandated officer is better equipped to handle certain situations, which we've discussed here. We can better utilize inmate labor, okay, which is different from the passionate labor that we've got now. It's more the dispassionate labor.
May I ask you a question?
Yes.
I have been intimately involved in training in sterile sanitation techniques.
Yes.
And if we do not, we have very low disease rate. If we do not have trained people doing the sanitation, cleaning animals, and you send these dogs out to rescue, and you kill the dogs that they got already up there, you ain't going to get no more dogs into any of these rescues, and they're going to write their friends, don't take any out of Murray County because the rescue. And I don't see prisoners as qualified for process and health sanitation.
Because they don't follow the law anyway.
When the shelter first opened, we had a huge amount of parvo, and I think even some distemper. You couldn't, to put a puppy in the shelter was almost certain death because it was going to get sick.
Our last parvo
They improved that much.
Our last parvo pool cost us personally $3,500. The last 3 dogs that we've done, over $7,000. Now, we're glad to make that donation to save these animals. That's how passionate we are. But the final quote that I have is, the change won't affect the kill rate at all. And that's according to Ms. Pittman. Now, let me go over some of the metrics that we have today, because it sounds like not a lot of research was done with this particular shelter and trying to understand why.
We have always been built 7 years.
Yes. And
Worldwide, volunteers, no cost to them.
let me go over all the points, and then I'll let you augment.
Okay.
Thank you. Pauline Davis and her staff and volunteers created a network of rescue coordinators and contributors from really all over the world, including Europe, Canada, Australia. I deal with volunteer from Australia every single week, and many parts of the United States. Okay, adoption rates are estimated at 70 to 80%. Okay, and these are published facts, by the way. 7 years ago, before the rescue efforts to save, the save rate was only at 10%. That's a 90% kill, which is fairly congruent with where you came from. Now the kill rate is as low as 15%, and again, that was a published number. The workers are providing copious amounts of free labor after hours on their own time. And this is a selfless, passionate pursuit. They've engaged in fundraising. I've been part of some of that fundraising. Some of that money has come from me. They've saved more than 5,000 animals. And again, let me say in conclusion that they're very passionate about these animals.
They are.
So what, and this is in a non-attacking way, so I apologize if it comes out wrong, but I don't mean it to be attacking. But what makes you believe that the change that we're making will allow you to maintain this level of quality, meeting or exceeding the metrics that I've just stated with dispassionate inmates, for example, as is stated by Ms. Brittany Pittman, the only metric that counts is this won't affect the kill rates at all. And is that currently, or is that forever? Are we going to be heading in a positive direction to try to get even lower to a zero rate? So I'll sit down, but that's my question. Thank you for your attention.
We certainly want to keep the euthanasia rate as low as possible. But if all, hold on.
They don't know about the prisoners. I have to say that prisoners in other states are being trained. The PNI dogs from puppies, they are kept in their cells with them.
That's a different program, ma'am.
We do know other counties that have employed inmates, and it's not a good situation.
There are those that are, but not.
That's a different program. That's a completely different program.
When all you're picking up is adoptable animals, it's really easy to keep your euthanasia rates low. When you're not addressing the whole animal control spectrum, a lot of these dogs that are going to be coming in the shelter, the nuisance animals, have not been addressed before. So when we're out and we're trying to meet people's needs in Murray County, of course we hope that every dog we pick up is adoptable. But reality tells us different.
Will these animals be given beyond?
A chance? Yes.
I mean, beyond the 5-day period.
Okay, I'm responsible to Murray County taxpayers. We have to answer to them. If we get a dog in, we probably need to start networking day one with the assumption that the dog's not going to get picked up if it's a not-for-the dog. We need to start contacts day one on the truck. But they have to pass some tests. We have to make sure that these are the type of dogs that are adoptable and the rescuers want them. We'll do it. We'll do it.
As part of the networking, will you provide information to the volunteers?
I do now. When I work.
Pictures
Sure.
from day one? So
We'll do our best.
Thank you.
We'll do our best.
Ma'am, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm Laura Dawson. I'm actually a volunteer from Gordon County, so I wanted to support Murray County in this. And I know that you guys are great. And Officer Franklin, if you recall, I worked my hardest to partner with Whitfield County, and I'm getting emotional about this because I worked so hard on that effort to partner Atlanta Pet Rescue with you 4 years ago. You transferred 20 dogs to us and then banned me from the office that day
because Atlanta Pet Rescue does arguably pull a certain kind of dog. That is what they have built their brand on. You got frustrated with them because they weren't responding to you quick enough. They weren't taking the dogs that you wanted, that you felt needed out. I personally walked through the halls of Whitfield County for almost, I would say, 4 months. We were able to kind of work with you. And then you banned me from Whitfield County. So,
Let her ask the question.
this is just, and you know what, I'm sorry I'm not making sense, but I worked very hard on that partnership. I am so committed to animal welfare in this community. I respect you, and I'll tell you, to remind you of kind of our conversation, I was tremendously impressed with your advocacy for spay-neuter. I was tremendously impressed by your advocacy for shutting down breeders. I was very, very, very impressed with that, and I applauded you for that, and I still do. I think that you have made a tremendous change in spay-neuter in Whitfield County. But on the other hand, what I experienced 4 years ago, I wanted to come here to tell everyone was awful in terms of a partnership with rescue. Atlanta Pet Rescue is arguably one of the best, not the best, but it is one of the best rescues in the state. They fully vet before adoption. They screen homes. They have a beautiful facility now. They were led by probably one of the most ethical people in animal rescue in the country. And I feel like we worked so hard to partner with you, and to have 20 animals and you shut us down was very, very disappointing. And I fear for this community. I do. I fear for this community because you were very, very regulated on 3-day holds. That's it. If they're not out in 3 days, they're down. Even we would be called with the 20 that we were able to help. We would be called at like 2 o'clock on the day they were going to go down and say, you have to be here in an hour from Atlanta. And you couldn't even hold them a day. I mean, I don't want to attack you because I really respect your position on spay-neuter. I do. But I don't respect your position on rescue. I know, I have tried to work with it, and I know that you are very, very regimented and very rule-oriented, and that isn't always the most successful in rescue numbers. And I think that your euthanasia rate at Dalton, which I have been following by open records request, is really disappointing because you cannot tell me I walked those halls like any of these rural communities. To imply that only 20% of these animals are adoptable is so disappointing, because in Gordon at least, our experience is probably 80% are adoptable and 20% aren't. And that's the truth. That is really the truth. So if you guys are not going to be able to maintain this 80%, I really hope that you reconsider your position on your guidelines and such. But in the irony of this, and I will tell you this, is I've always held Murray County up to Gordon County as a comparison. I won't anymore, because I have never been so proud of my county and so happy to be a part of Gordon County as I am today. I am so sorry, because Pauline Davis is someone who implemented programs that I held up to Gordon County to try to emulate. And in terms of success levels, her spay-neuter program for litters that were brought in, we tried to emulate that at Gordon County. And anyway, so I'm not making any sense anymore.
Yes, you are.
Did we not provide the health inspectors in Georgia?
You did. In Gordon County struggles. We just got out of a state quarantine. We've had cargo issues, and there's no doubt about that.
My name's Teresa Hanks. I live in Woodville County, but I volunteer in Murray County. My question is, since the main problem appears to be use of animals, another problem that Pauline apparently doesn't have the authority to handle, why change everything in a person that's yeah, why not?
Woo! Woo! You go, girl.
Things she can't do. Why can't throwing out, you know, the baby with the bathwater? Just change everything.
Tonight, real quick, you said something earlier about the license expiring. I'm not sure everybody heard that. Maybe it's important that you repeat that.
Agricultural license?
Yeah.
It was expired for a year, over a year, I believe.
And who stayed on duty for it? Is it herself?
Oh, I don't know.
Pauline.
Can you
Why
repeat?
did
She
you
found
wait
it
over a year?
herself. Because that's a minor oversight, there's very little fine to it. She was not fined.
I don't think it's minor.
No, I'm saying the state did not fine her anything for it, and they did not reprimand her anything for it, and she got reinstated, and it cost Murray County no damage.
As a resident of Murray County, we have a problem with people that we rent to that have dogs or have the animal control down several times. They've done nothing, and they're still there. They put out traps. The trap was stolen. They were even scared. We were even scared to find somebody going to talk to the people about the dogs. I think there's a lot of problems other than this. I respect them, but there's other problems that need to be addressed. I look forward to helping. Thank you.
My name's Randy Knight. I live in Spring Place. Obviously, that's Murray County. What the young lady was saying is, it goes even further than that. We have feral cats and stray dogs in my neighborhood. We have called the animal shelter many, many times, no response. My little dog, which I can't call it my little dog because she owns me, I don't own her. At night when she wants out, I have to go out with her. So she's a little bitty thing, I have to protect her. I thought part of animal control was to do something about that. Am I wrong? Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
And I don't have that.
I have to because nobody will respond to our request.
They're too smart.
Yeah, but if you don't try, you certainly can't trap them. That's what I'm doing. Nobody has ever come. Yeah, the ones my father-in-law and I bought. Oh, yes, we did. We took them around the show. They wouldn't take them. No, ma'am.
Okay, we're running out of time. We've got time for a couple more questions in the back there.
Okay. My name is Beverly Hedges, and I do live in Murray County. I've got strays, all of them are spayed and neutered, cats and dogs, my horse is gilded. I totally believe in that. I know Jag. I've got Jag is a reading buddy. She's got a Facebook that's what's right. I've rescued a Jack Russell.
Oh.
Her friend passed away 6 years ago. And then I rescued another Jack Russell that I saw on the website from Murray County Humane Society. My grandmother was passing, and Hachi was on the Humane Society website. I went the next day. They made me get spayed, neutered, and shots before I took Hachi home. Hachi cost me $1,200, and Hachi passed away a week after grandmother passed away because Hachi had distemper. It doesn't matter who you are. If you've got the heart for animals, you're going to do the right thing. The funds that have been accumulated by Pauline should be accessible to Murray County taxpayers and the commissioner.
So if that fund's available, then that fund needs to be, the amount needs to be known.
The funds are raised to turn into the commissioner, and they're redistributed.
I believe that if the funds are for the Murray County Animal Shelter, every fund should come into Murray County Commissioner's office.
Only left if you're here for Murray County's animals. Wait, hold up with y'all. Now, if you're here for the right reason, you're here for the right reason. You're not here for financial gain. You're not here to say, okay, I didn't get my way, so I'm taking my toys and going home.
That was how the agreement was set up.
But you know what? If you're here for the right reason, and your heart's where it is, maybe you're here for the right reason. If you are not, and you're here for a financial gain, if you fill out paperwork, Emily comes every Tuesdays and Thursdays and works her fingers to the bone. When she goes over to Winfield County and Dalton, Diane's out there busting her butt with it. Diane was not in charge of Winfield County. She was under a commissioner and a director. Pauline was the director. She didn't go out and say, you know what, sir, your dog or ma'am, your dog is not tied up. Your dog is a nuisance. I'm going to have to arrest you. She can't do that. But the people that go out for Sheriff Langford can help us do that. We think that would be one. I have rescued wonderful. We're 2 dogs from Murray County Animal Shelter. I still have Biscuit. Scotty is cat. And not because of negligence on cleaning of the facility. It happened. It cost me $1,200 to find out that he had distemper. I told Emily has to take care of the problem with Murray County. Now, young man, I respect who you are as a professional. I am also a professional.
What do you ever contributed to Murray County Shelter? What was she doing?
She didn't interrupt you. Sit down and bring her talk. She did not interrupt you.
But she was attacked.
She is attacked.
No, sir, I did not know the situation.
Remember, she has the right to speak.
She don't have right to attack me.
I did not mean to seem that way. But my question is, Emily has done a lot for Murray County. Emily stayed in there for many hours. Emily fills out paperwork so animals can go to rescue facilities. The paperwork is legal. The paperwork includes shots. It does not mean that they are not spaying and neutered and sending them up north. She doesn't send pregnant dogs or anybody up north. She does it right. So Emily Belcher is an upstanding person, and I don't ever want to hear nothing out of anyone's mouth unless they have say that Emily is not an upstanding person.
Thank you, Ms. Hayes.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
What is witness has to contribute?
And I'm
She goes and she spends her scalpel, her stitches, her facility, the mobile unit.
all right. Thank you all for coming out.
Yeah, at your house. Thank you. Let's get this report back to
There's still a lot of business to take care of. More business to take care of.
Who are you?
He's a taxpayer.
And I am Stephen Zeiger. I live in Ranger. Well, no one lives in Ranger, but outside. I'm a neighbor. I'm a trading partner with your community. I'm also a member of the American Black and Tan Coonhound Rescue Organization, a national organization. We're in Coonhound hotbed here. This is where coonhounds come from. And I'd like to have the relationship be maintained between American Black and Tan Coonhound Rescue because we get the worst of the worst animals that come out of shelters.
ones that are not deemed adopted?
The ones that are not deemed adopted.
Are you licensed?
Yes.
Yes, we are.
I plan to work with every licensed rescuer that I possibly can.
Inside the state of Georgia.
You cannot do that at Whitfield. I tried.
Thank
I tried to implement
you.